Okay, so we're with Rhyl first team manager Gareth Thomas and assistant manager Leighton Sumner. So this evening we've got our Q and A questions given by the Fans Association. So we're going to start off. We've got some quick fire questions. We'll start with Leighton first, and then towards the end we will ask Perry the same questions. So, Leighton, what is your favourite football team?
Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, apart from Rhyl, Tottenham Hotspur.
Your proudest football playing moment. So what's the moment you've enjoyed the most playing football?
Yeah, my proudest moment was playing at Bellevue for Rhyl, the old Rhyl, the former Rhyl, against the Welsh national side.
Good one. Proudest moment managing or coaching a team?
Probably in junior football. So whilst winning the Welsh Academy Cup with the under-12s with Connacht Nomads a couple of years ago, becoming the Welsh champions.
Good work. The best player that you've played against?
I played against Robbie Fowler actually in a trial for. I was on trial for Bolton Wanderers against Liverpool, and it was a week before he broke into the Liverpool first team, and he played on the left wing that day and scored 2. So yeah, I think he has to be the best player I've played against.
Best player you've played with?
Oh, it's easy, isn't it? He's my gaffer now, isn't he? So it's got to be Perry, hasn't it? You know, it has to be.
Who is your favourite ever player? I'm guessing it's going to be...
Yeah, my favourite footballer is Paul Gascoigne.
Number 7, what's your favourite meal?
Oh, favourite meal? I'm not really into food, to be honest with you. But
I mean, either.
as you can see, no, I would say it'd probably be an Indian meal. I think, yeah, a nice spicy curry.
And then number 8, what's your favourite curry? I think that's come from one of the Rhyl Fans Association.
Oh yeah,
Favourite
curry fans. Anything hot, a madras or something like
that. Favourite holiday destination?
Portugal.
Very nice. What do you do to relax?
Nothing really. I don't do much relaxing. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really answer that one. Sleep.
Right, okay. So what we'll do is we'll move on to our normal questions and we'll come back to them for you in a bit, Perry, okay? Right, so Perry, what aspects of CPD Y Rhyl 1879 get you most excited?
Well, it's the challenge of a new club. Facilities that are there are great, and it's the fact that it's a rebirth of the club, and the challenge is there, isn't it? At the end of the day, it'll be a side that'll be there to be shot down by every club we're playing against, but the whole package with it, get a club out on the ground of local lads if we can, and to do well and to build the club up from the start, and hopefully be involved in quite a long journey.
Brilliant. What are you most excited about, Leighton?
Well, it's similar to that first question, isn't it? It's I'm excited because it's new, and because it's fresh, and just the opportunity to sort of to go and achieve something, really, isn't it? So pretty much the same as Perry, really, yeah.
So what, in your opinion, makes a CPD Y Rhyl 1879 player? Perry?
Straightforward, really. It's players that want to play for the club. Everyone knows it's a rebuild with a club. We went after an awful lot of players once we were confirmed as managers, speaking to a lot of local young talent within the area. Some bought into it, some haven't. But what I would say out there, I'd say the 18, 19 players that have signed for the club, all of them were offered to come from the first word, and to their fairness, they've been at nearly every training session. With COVID now, I think we've had about 18 training sessions, and those lads have all bought into it from minute one.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Any sort of aspects that you're looking for in a player, Leighton?
I think the biggest one for me is that they're committed, you know, and what I mean by that is that they buy into everything that we ask, you know, and you know, in terms of being fit and training hard, you know, obviously we'll be expecting that, and then sort of just on top of that, it's just taking on board, you know, the advice that's given, really, you know, so players coming in with that positive attitude, that's what I'll be looking for.
Brilliant. I'll move straight on to the next one.
Yeah.
Can you describe, this is direct to you, Perry, and then Leighton will probably be able to elaborate a little bit. Can you describe how you and your assistant Leighton, plus your coaches, are going to be involved? Who will do what within your coaching team? What are your expectations of all your coaches that you've got?
Yeah. As I say, when I took the job on, I hadn't spoke to any of the coaches who were going to be appointed. At the time, I took the job on with my eyes open, and then I went about building a backroom staff. Now, it may look excessive of what we've got, but you've got to look at it. You know, Andy Wilmot's been brought in as a goalkeeping coach. It's a specialist position. It's not easy, you know, for any outfield coaches to do that. So we wanted a specialist goalkeeping coach who was local. Andy bought into it. I will manage the side. I've identified the players, but the coaches will do the coaching on systems of play, and they're all got a say in that, what happens. You know, we've got Leighton, we've got Warren, we've got Matty. It may look top heavy, but at the end of the day, these are all volunteers, and we work, especially in these difficult, you know, times at the moment. You know, we're training when we can. You know, at the moment, it's been stopped now, but we had to have Denbighshire lads, Flintshire lads training in separate places for the last week prior to the fire break. So you can't have enough hands on deck to help. And there will be times when lads have got to work, and, you know, at the end of the day, they're the tiers we're in now. If lads have got work, the work's got to come first. But we've got 5, you know, more than capable coaches of taking sessions if they're left on their own. So be it. That won't happen. There'll always be 3 of us there, hopefully because of work. But we built in 5. At the end of the day, Warren's still going to be registered as a player. So it's clear from a management group, you know, they'll all have an input, but the decision lie with me, and the buck stops with me if things are going wrong.
Brilliant. What are your expectations of Perry?
Well, I've known Perry for a long time, you know, and I know he's been involved. He's been involved in the game a long time, so I think everyone knows sort of what he's about. But in terms of me working alongside him, you know, exactly what he said. You know, it's ultimately we're a team. You know, there's a group of us. We're a team in it together. You know, we'll all have ideas and all have opinions, which I'm sure will be shared amongst us and you know, and considered. But ultimately, you know, Perry is the manager, and that's you know, that's the bottom line. You know, sort of he will have the final say on anything. So you know, that's what I expect to see, sort of thing. So
brilliant. Yeah. How are you keeping all the players motivated while we're not able to play?
It's tough.
Well, that's straightforward, really. We haven't been able to play since we took the challenge on back in June. No, to be fair, as we've said, we've had about 18 sessions. To be fair, when we took the job on, you know, we didn't have a player, but we got 5 or 6 players signed straight away that bought into it, and they straight away took on 5K challenges until we were given the go-ahead to then return to training. We returned to training with 3 sessions a week. You know, that sounded overkill from talking with other managers, but we didn't have a squad. So within them first 6 sessions, you know, some lads contacted the club and asked to come training. And we invited whoever asked to come, regardless of ability. They were asked to come down, take part, and it was up to them then if they wanted to take the chance. Some we didn't see again because of the training. But as a squad now, the lads who have signed and have bought in, they're training hard. They're doing 5K. Some of the runs we're getting sent in are absolutely ridiculous. You know, one of the lads done a marathon at the weekend, and even the week prior to the fire break or whatever it's called now, when we were splitting with the lads from different areas, you know, took a session in Denbighshire at the ground where there was 9 or 10 of the lads there, and I had a session in Flintshire with 4 or 5 of the lads. So we've been managing to keep them ticking over, and that's all they can do really now, is just keep ticking over until we get any more guidance on where we're going to be, when we're going to be starting. Because as it stands at the moment, you know, that seems a long way away until the FA give any clear guidelines. But it wouldn't surprise me that if 2 weeks' time they said, right, you're starting on Saturday, that, you know, it's been that unorganised, if you'd ask me. But the lads need to be ready for when we get going, and they will be. You know, they're still doing their runs at the moment, so that's all we can keep doing, is keep checking in with them. I had a check-in last night with 5 of the boys last night, and I've got a Zoom meeting with them all on Thursday night, which all the lads will be taking part in. So just keeping base and making sure everyone's all right.
You got anything on that?
Yeah, just to add to that, what I will say is I believe that you know, in fairness to Matty, Warren, and Andy, you know, they've really sort of kept pushing the lads as best they can. In particular, you know, with them sort of being local and with the local lockdown restrictions and stuff, they've still managed to, you know, get local lads out and go for runs and stuff like that. So, you know, credit to them, really.
Brilliant. What is going to be CPD Rhyl 1879's first team's biggest advantage? So what's going to be our biggest advantage when we do eventually start playing?
The ground. Absolutely, ground. And the way we want to structure the club. You know, those players, you know, I have to laugh. Those players have bought into what we're saying. I've heard all the rumours. I've seen it on social media, seeing how much we've been criticised for why people are there. But what they don't know, people that are quick enough to have a pop, is which players have said they were willing to come, but are happy to jump to other clubs in the same league who apparently aren't paying money. So I've never been interested in that. The ground is a seller for me and how we want to run the club.
Yeah, no, obviously the ground is a massive pull, isn't it? You know, it's it's fantastic. I think always has been, but on top of that, it's, you know, a lot of work's been done there, hasn't it? You know, over the summer and over the lockdown periods and whatever, there's been a lot of work done at the ground, and I think it's, you know, it's looking excellent there. So yeah, that is a massive pull. You know, and then I just sort of say, on top of that, I do believe that we have a strong coaching team here in place, you know, and I think for me, I think that's a big pull and a big, you know, a massive advantage for the lads who are coming in, who are on board, and you know, looking to buy into what we're doing.
Perfect. Next up, do you have any experience in playing the teams in our division, and what do you expect?
Ryan, can I just go back onto that as well as the ground? As well as the ground, obviously, we've been there nearly every Saturday since we've been allowed, and we've seen the work that's going on by the Supporters Association. You know, they've done brilliant with the ground. You know, the things that they're doing there, and I think as well the other selling point for the players will be, you know, at the end of the day, we're tier 4, but I think if we do things right, that, you know, those fans will get the backing off us, and it'll be good for some of the young lads to play in front of the crowd. And I think that will that'll be another selling point for us.
You see, it's more of a journey that we're going to go on rather than just a few games. We're going to be a journey. We're going to see these players for 2 or 3 seasons potentially.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of that, if you look at the recruitment we've done, you know, there'll be a lot of names there that people won't have heard about, but there's a good 4 or 5 that are 19, 20, and that's the thing. What we said, we identified players, and we don't want to be changing them year after year. Yeah, we've got a few old heads in there, but you're going to need a few old heads. And if they're with us 12, 18 months, so be it. But the young ones, that's what we want to build around. We don't want to be in a revolving door.
Yep. Right. Do you have any experience in playing teams that are in our division, and what do you expect in terms of competition and playing style from them?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, really, you know, because of the restructuring of the teams. You know, at the end of the day, it was only 2.5 years ago I was in Tier 3 with Conway, you know, and there was a few of the clubs there then. So Glen Conway were in that league. You had Llandurnog were in that league. Junction were above it. So, you know, I've got no qualms about that. we're not daft enough to realise, you know, it's going to be a walk in the park. And I think when my personal opinion is that by the time the season actually starts, I think a lot of these clubs will have got stronger as well, because I think you've got Tier 1 now, which is off and running. Now, if Tier 2 starts before Tiers 3 and 4, which, you know, there's all sorts of rumours going about, if that's the case, there'll be lads that'll be quickly realising, let's be honest, if you haven't kicked the ball since March and you're sat on the bench or not even getting involved in 14, 16-man teams at the start in Tier 2, they're going to look to drop down straight away and play football if they've got anything about them. So I think as for teams we'll be playing, you know, there's some strong sides in there. You know, we've got 5 local derbies, which is not going to be any mean feat. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, we'll do what we can, our research on the sides we're playing. We'll see them properly like we would if we were at a higher level. But I think it's just a difficult one to say, have you managed at this level? Yes, we have. You know, I've done, as I say, I've done Conway at that level. I've done the Welsh Wrexham area at that level. But with the changes in the tiers, what is that at the end of the day? You look at Glen Conway, they were one of the better sides in Tier 3 last year, you know, and yet they're with us. It's that important B group, got a lot of the old lads back. And if you look at Llandudno, they've signed a hell of a lot of players from Ruthin. So it might be Tier 4, but there's some decent sides in there.
What are you expecting in terms of playing style? What do you think you'll face? Will it be long balls? Will people try and look after the ball? What are you expecting to see?
Who knows? It depends when we're going to start, doesn't it? If we're not starting until January, you know, the pitches might look all nice and nicey, plenty of green. You play on it 1 week, you're going to dig up nearly every pitch. I can't see there being that many great surfaces to play on early doors. So we'll just have to, you know, we'll have enough players to be able to go a certain couple of ways and play at different styles. But I just think at the end of the day, I think to start with, everyone will be that keen when it starts. I'll be amazed if there's shape and everything. I think it'll be like going back to kids football. Everyone will want to get on the ball, and I just think it'll be a hard competitive league, and we just need to be ready for that when it starts.
Brilliant. Did you get anything on that, Leighton?
Yeah, no. The only thing to add really is you know, when Perry said we're not daft sort of thing. We know what we're going to come up, what we're going to expect. You know, we've spoken about Bellevue and the ground and the great surface that we've got. But you know, we've already spoken in depth about, you know, places where we may be going where facilities aren't so great, and the lads understanding that, you know, that there will be some tough away games, you know, and there will be different challenges that we'll face, you know, in these fixtures. So yeah, we're fully aware of that.
Do you feel like that because we're going to be playing at Bellevue that the opposition might raise their game a little bit as well? You know, because it's a different environment to playing at any other sort of ground. Do you think that's it'll be that cup final, to say?
Absolutely. I think regardless of the cup final or not, everyone will look at where you're at and we'll be there to be shot at. You know, it's like you say, I'll worry about us and nothing else. You know, you've heard, you know, some of the signings we made early doors, they've been around the block and they'll know what it takes to win the league. So we just got to worry about ourselves. But, you know, we're under no illusions, and we've spoken in some of the sessions we've had and things before when we've had meetings with the players. At the end of the day, it's a journey. It's a new journey. It's a new club. What's gone's gone. We can't do nothing about that. But sides will see us as a cup final. They'll all be licking their lips wanting to come and play at Rhyl on that surface. So we've just got to make sure that we're ready to deal with anything that comes our way in this season. And let's make no bones about it, there is going to be very little room for error if you want to win the league, because if you look at where we're at now, the likelihood is we're going to be playing a 14-game season. So straight away, you know, that's precious. Straight away, you're not going to have 6 or 7 friendlies to find lads' feet and sort them out. It's all going to have to be done off the training pitch and straight into games, if you're asking me, because without things are going, as we said, it's strange times, but I can't see us playing more than a 14-game season. So sides will raise the game, but we have to be ready for it.
Brilliant. Other than Bellevue, this is only a quick one. Other than Bellevue, which grounds are you looking forward to playing at or revisiting again?
Visiting or playing. I look at it, it's an experience. You know, I've been in football a long time, and there's a lot of grounds that we'll be going to. which will be new. But you know, there's still some decent surfaces there. You know, Penmaen Mawr got a decent surface. Llansannon got a decent surface there. Junction's not the worst place to go and play at. So there's pitches, you know, they'll be all right. They'll be good to play on, and we've just got to see what's what, because let's be honest, we're not going to be going to every ground, are we? Because if you're playing half at home, half away, you're talking 7 home games, 7 away games, and that's the reality of it. So you just got to hope that when the fixtures come out, you may miss one or two of the grounds that you wouldn't want to go to.
Yeah, of course. Is there any areas of the squad that you're looking to increase in numbers, quality, a few more faces up front, defence, anything like that?
Well, at the end of the day, we signed a squad that we thought would get us somewhere near. Now, what we weren't going to, you know, we haven't done it. We haven't done it simply because no one's playing yet. But if we're being realistic about it, we've lost 3 players to university at the moment, so they were always going to have to be replaced. We knew when we signed them that we were only going to have them till October time, depending on COVID and when they started. But Ollie's gone to uni. He went a bit later than thought, so Ollie Staveley has gone to university, so we've not replaced him yet. Jack Parry-Jones has started university, but he's only in Liverpool, so there's a chance that he'll be coming back. But who knows with COVID at the moment. And Tyler signed, and we thought we had when Tyler signed for us, his start date was given and he wasn't going back till after Christmas, so he's gone back to university already. He was pulled back a couple of weeks ago. Now, I spoke to all 3 last week. All are doing well in university, though they're not doing much at all. Apart from Ollie, they're all staying in the house, and we've lost Jay Whitehouse. So that's 4 spaces we've got in our squad, and it was always our intention of when the league started, and Leighton will back me up on this, as with the other coaches, when the league started, players would become available, but we wouldn't just take them for the sake of it. They'd have to buy into what we've got. Now, we're in the process of announcing 2 more within this next week who will increase the numbers, but the numbers of the squad are not massive, and as I say, you know, they're about right and they're manageable at the moment. But if players become available and they'll add, it's not a case of just adding on the football front to the squad. They've got to buy in everything that's going with it.
How much quality have we got in the squad already then, Leighton? A lot of quality already? You're really happy with what you've seen so far?
Yeah. I mean, I know a few of the lads myself, but there's a lot that you know I'm not too familiar with. But upon sort of seeing them in training sessions and whatever else, a few have you know pretty much impressed me. So I suppose the difficult thing is games, isn't it? You know, I think you know you really get a proper understanding of players and their abilities in a proper football match. You know, and without these friendlies that we haven't yet had, you know, it's hard to make any real assessments. But you know, first impressions, yeah, I'm more than happy. You know, I think we've got a great mixture of youth and the older heads that Perry alluded to earlier, and I think we've got the basis of a really good squad there. So you know, let's hope we can, once we get the games, we can just kick on and move on from there, really.
Brilliant. What are your ambitions for the club and your long-term plan? What you're hoping to achieve in your time while you're at the club?
You know, when we spoke about and took the job on, you know, I took the job on with my eyes open. I'd spoken to Tom and Adam, and I took the job, obviously, as I say, without any coaching staff in place. So I was aware of what they want and where they see the club going. Now, part of the attraction of coming back into senior football was there is a long-term plan there, and it's not, as we've alluded to, you know, we're trying to put a squad together that will hopefully be good enough to win Tier 4, but will also, in my opinion, what we've got already is good enough to go and challenge at Tier 3 with a couple more additions next year. So it's not something that we're coming into just for 12, 18 months and then saying, right, sack it off. You know, Leighton's a real lad. If you look at the coaching staff, Matty, Andy Wilmot, they're all local boys, they're all real lads, so it means something to them. So we want to build the foundations and get the club moving in the right direction. At the moment, it looks, we've got one team and we've got plenty of the women and the young girls playing there, but it's a bigger project than that. Eventually we want to get reserve side back there. We need to be getting junior sides playing under that banner, and that, and that the project for now, at the end of the day, has to be for this season, shortened or not, has to be the first team to get them promoted. But then it's getting that club back where it should be, at the heart of the community.
Brilliant. You got any specific ambitions, Leighton?
No, I mean, just to sort of follow on, obviously from when I come in, I met along with the other coaches. We met with the committee, and they told us the ambitions of the club and the plan for the club going forward, and all looks very, very realistic, and all looks to be very achievable to me. And I think, I think as a team, we've bought into what the committee want, and their expectations, and then along with that, we have our own expectations as a management team, and in the short term and in the long term. So obviously it's a big project, this, and it's a long term project, and it's but hopefully the project will start, very, very brightly, and that puts us on a good foot, doesn't it?
That's brilliant. Right, finally, we've got Perry's quickfire questions. Perry, I don't know why it's asking what your favourite curry is, but it wasn't me that put the questions together, so I do apologise.
Why do I look as though I've had a few?
I don't know. Right, number one, what's your favourite football team?
Everton.
They did well on the weekend, didn't they, Perry?
All right, move on.
Number two, your proudest football playing moment?
Probably being part of Alkin United side that won the Welsh Alliance and went through the whole season unbeaten without paying a penny.
Like that. Proudest managing or coaching moment?
I've been lucky enough to win a few trophies, obviously getting Denby to the World Cup final was a big achievement with the side, the scouts we took on the way with a great bunch of players, great squad. But I think the proudest moment would have to be winning the treble with Conway. Certainly the FA Trophy at Airbus was a great day, and capturing the league and the Cookson Cup that season. So I would say with that, that was pretty similar. Took the job with no players, and we built something there within 12 months. And to be fair to them players, there's some good young lads, and they've all stuck together, and they're still together now, which is credit for them.
Brilliant. Best player you have played against?
Best player. Don't forget, my playing days finished a long time ago, so I've had to think the memory banks here. I would think the best player I played against was probably, in his prime, was Craig Lawton at youth level. Prior to him going to Man United, he was outstanding.
Brilliant. Best player that you've played with?
Played with. I would say for consistency would be in the latter part would be Darren Horn.
You lost that one. Favourite ever player?
Favourite ever player, Mark Hughes.
I'm mad. Favourite meal?
Favourite meal? Chinese or Indian.
Favourite curry?
I'm going to give it spicy.
Favourite holiday destination?
Australia.
Lovely.
All day long.
And what do you do to relax?
Sleep.
I've said both of you, then, isn't it?
Sleep. It's very similar, aren't we?
At the end, no, I'd say a lot of relaxing for me comes from football. With the job I've got, and then I've got, chairman of 5 junior sides, which takes a lot of time up, and playing cricket and that. I'd say my relaxation comes from being involved in sport.
Brilliant. And that's all the questions we've got for you, gentlemen.
Okay. So finally, thanks for that, Ryan. And, I hope that's answered a few of the questions for the supporters club. Hopefully, in the not too distant future, we'll be able to get back to it and start meeting up with some of you as well. And hopefully, first things first, they'll get football going, but then they'll get the fans back into the grounds, because at the end of the day, if they're not in the ground, there's not much point in carrying on, in my opinion, with football. Crowds are important at every level, and even more so at the levels we're playing at. They should be in them grounds the minute the football starts, in my opinion. So hopefully we'll see you soon, and take care.